Shadow Coast here, and welcome to the Dreadlands. We are going to take a few minutes to review this game that is very much in early access, but still awesome nonetheless. You can see here they're actively working on it, and so far they have done a phenomenal job. We're going to jump into our Brazen Pugilist Scrappers campaign to show you a little bit of the gameplay. So far, the best way I would describe this game is if XCOM met Borderlands, met Mordheim, and they had this awesome baby. So, in the game, you very much have an open world that you can explore with your band of, or your gang of misfits here. During your gang, you can build and upgrade and add units. You can see here, you can have various types of units with different caps that you can recruit along the way and level them up to gain additional traits. You do have a hideout here, which we're not going to head to, but eventually you'll be able to upgrade it, such as upgrading your medical area and other places. On the map, there is a main storyline campaign that will be further developed as they approach eventual launch. Right now, they very much do have an underlying story campaign, which is really interesting. Nonetheless, you can explore the map and take on different encounters, which we're going to do right here to showcase a little bit of the combat mechanics in the game. Now we're very much early in our Scrapper campaign. We've completed one or two main storyline missions, and I'm just going to highlight a few of the different mechanics here that are unique to the Dreadlands, which I think are very interesting and enjoyable. Now we don't have too big of a squad currently, so we're going to go in with everyone we do have. Nonetheless, you do have different tiered units. Your main leader is obviously only one of them. You can have 2 elite units, and then you can have three lieutenant class units, and then 2 basic units. Now my understanding is that a lower level unit should be able to replace a higher level unit should you want to have that. Units can be upgraded and gain levels. Now this is one of the unique components of this game that I actually really like, is that you have tactics cards which you can choose to replace or re-roll. You actively build your tactics you actively build your tactics deck as you level up your gang and gain more cards, and you can swap them in and out of your potential deck that will be rolled. Here this is a pretty strong lineup. We're just going to replace one to show you. I personally love bomb rats. They're awesome. And you basically can re-roll based on your deck. Now this game does have this, I call it Mordheim field, where depending on the scenario, you can pick your deployment location. On a battle like this, there's really not too much to it. You basically can line up on your side. Although if you do ambush an enemy or take on other combat missions, the deployment zones do vary. So in an ambush, you actually can deploy all around the enemy who's centrally located. And I would imagine it would be a similar deployment if you yourself are ambushed. I'm going to jump into this. We're not going to think about tactics too much because I just want to get into some core gameplay here. So we're going to throw all our guys up here. We have Nessie, our loyal hound, who's awesome. So we're going to ready up and start. Now, because we are attacking, we do get to move first. We're taking on a band of rats, and the king rats over here. So we're going to want to focus them. Now, what you're going to notice here at the top of the UI, there's this bar. The more enemies that we injure or take out, the further the bar moves towards their direction. Once the bar hits their logo, they basically have a morale break. This is super important because this means that they will have lower chance to hit, and I think that there's also the ability for them to panic and run away. So that's something really important to note. Now I'm not taking too many probably smart moves here, but we're just gonna jump in. I'm hoping this is a relatively easy battle. You do have Overwatch. These are your listed commands that you can have that will vary based on skills and other aspects. You also have challenges for each mission, which will yield additional XP. Your characters do level up, and as they level up, they can gain traits that you can select You basically roll 2 traits and you can select one of them each time, which is fairly interesting. You can see here you outline your hit chance. I'm gonna move up here. Right now we don't have too good of a hit chance. We're gonna throw ourselves an Overwatch. We're gonna bring up Grim, and he's gonna Overwatch too. I'm going to deploy some bomb rats. They basically run towards the enemy and blow themselves up, which is pretty awesome. And we're gonna kind of move everyone up. You can select your Overwatch, which is nice. And Nessie's a hound, or loyal hound. So we're gonna end the turn. So far, I would rate this game a solid 9 out of 10, which I'd never do for an early access game. It is phenomenal. Combat mechanics work really well. There are some cons to this game in early access. The biggest one is sound. For some reason, sometimes the sound is super loud, other times it's super soft, but that's my biggest complaint of the game. Other than that, they have done a fantastic job, and I cannot wait to see what this game looks like in its final state. So far, it is awesome. Currently in early access, and you can pick this game up on Steam, you can play as 2 gangs. So I'm playing as a Scrappers. You can also play as a Tribekin, and I believe they have a 3rd faction that you will be able to play upon release or later in early access. I hope you found this review helpful. I hope this gave you a little bit of a sense of the gameplay. Overall, it's awesome. We're going to continue on this mission just so you guys can kind of get a sense for what the gameplay looks like. We're going to give it a shot. We missed, unfortunately. One of the things that's unique about this game that is important to note, this is our Scrapper tank, is that once you engage in melee, regardless of if you are like firing on him or not, like now that I've engaged this guy in melee, I cannot shoot him, even with another character. So you're gonna see that up here, right? So notice how, despite the fact that I should be able to hit him, because he's in melee, I cannot. So that's something that you just want to keep in mind. Our bomb rats. Ooh, I probably misplaced that guy. There are different status effects like pinned, which will basically reduce their action point. The way the gameplay mechanics work is that at baseline you have 2 action points. So each action takes an action point. So in the white, that's your 1 action point. In the orange, that's your 2nd action point. Firing once will use an action point. Reloading will take an action point. So this is an action point based turn-based strategy, which is, I think, fairly straightforward. I like aim. That increases your hit probability. You do have ammo, which is very difficult to obtain. So you want to make sure that you're always purchasing ammo and being careful with shots and picking to use melee when appropriate. Our bomb rats don't look to be blowing up. That'll give us a chance to get out of there. This guy's going to attack our tank. He's going to miss. And our tank is pretty tanky, so he doesn't take any damage from this little rat. Oh boy. Okay, so these guys are all engaged in melee now, which actually is not necessary. Oh, this guy is not. So 80% chance. So we're going to try to take out their king rat. We pinned him, so he has 1 action point. Can we not aim? One of our weapons is out of ammo, so we can reload. We're gonna see if we can hit him. One of them hit. Now he's bleeding. Nessie. Well, let's down this guy. Then, we missed. I'm gonna bring Nessie over. Now, one of the challenges with these bomb rats that I'm a little nervous about is that they're Alright, so this guy we are going to aim, bring up our hit chance. Ah, we missed. Gonna end our turn. So these rats, when they explode, we can take friendly fire. Oh! Well, we ended them. One of the unique things about this is once you complete taking out the enemies, you can explore and pick up certain things. So we're gonna go to the tactical view. You can do that by holding shift. We're gonna look for some shiny objects, which I'm not seeing any more of them. Normally there are 2 or 3 that have medical supplies and scrap. You can use scrap to create ammo, repair armor, and a bunch of other stuff. And then medical supplies create medical bandages and other stuff. And then here we have a perfect example of gaining XP. Now, similar to Mordheim, just because you're downed in combat does not mean you're down forever. So you can revive, which is nice. Or excuse me, you can incur light wounds, which requires you to head back to your base and leverage medical supplies to heal. And they're light wounds and long-lasting wounds. If you have a long-lasting wound, I believe you can rest in the med bay or med center in your hideout and eventually heal. You can also select MVPs at the end. This allows you to assign experience to help level up newer units faster, which is really nice. So we picked Grim as our MVP, so he gets 4 extra XP. Let's take a quick look here at how we level up, which I'll bring up. This review is a little bit longer than I expected, but I just want to show you all this game has to offer. It's an incredibly fun game with lots of awesome components. So we're going to bring up our gang. You can see here Grim and Nessie have leveled up. And the way this works is that I can now choose a trait or skill to add to them, and the unit gets an additional hit point. So dodge, attackers get minus 25% hit chance to hit him with ranged weapon. And fighter is adept at firing on the move. If they shoot after performing a move action, they gain 10% to hit. I am going to design this scrapper as a sniper, so this is actually a lot better because he can sit up there or sit in the back and snipe. I can also manually reload by bringing this over here and managing my ammo, so that's important to note. And I think we also wanted to go back here and Nessie. Ooh, this one's a difficult one. Do I upgrade melee or defense 1 hit point? We're gonna upgrade melee. Nessie is a scout. She has 6 movement, which is a lot higher than all our other units. Anyways, I hope that you found this review helpful. This game is awesome. It has a lot to offer. It has map management, open world exploration, turn-based tactics. I have been pleasantly surprised. I picked this up just watching watching the intro video on Steam, and it has been well worth the time. Hopefully you found this helpful, and I always appreciate a subscribe and a like. Helps me as a content creator. We'll catch you in the next episode, and feel free to check out our Scrapper campaign on Shadow Coast Gaming on YouTube. We'll see you in the next one. Shadow Coast out.